Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. The journey of youth. My name is Bruno. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, like, and comment. Okay, Jimmy Kimmel. I believe that most of you heard about Jimmy Kimmel, what's going on in America and how he lost his job, and his late night show, I think it's a late night show, has been cancelled. And I've been watching various videos about this situation. However, here's one thing that nobody is pointing out. This is something that a lot of people are missing out regarding to this situation with Jimmy Kimmel in America. And also, I'm gonna break it down how young people growing up can learn from this mistake. So here's what's going on. Jimmy was very naive in terms of making that comment regarding Charlie Kirk. How was he naive? Let me put it this way. Before Trump came back into power, you could say that the left were at their peak under Joe Biden. And when Joe Biden was in power, right, a lot of these celebrities could say things and get away with it. But the reason why they could get away with it is because the majority were quiet. The majority of us were scared to speak up. But these celebrities, they still haven't gotten the wake-up call. These celebrities, they still haven't realized that the tide has changed. The waves has changed. The world is changing in a sense of people are beginning to wake up. The majority of the people are beginning to wake up. And it's not to say that most people were asleep or most people weren't aware of the madness that was going on. It's just that most people were afraid to speak up. That's what was going on. Freedom of speech was being held. So with Jimmy, he thought that the world, the majority of the people were or are on his side. Okay, let me, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Let me paint a picture. When Joe Biden was in power, the left were in power. In a sense of they had the power to determine what can be said and what cannot be said. Jimmy thought that we're still in that era. He thinks that we're still living in that era. Back in Joe Biden days and presidency, we had the minority of the left controlling freedom of speech. And then you got the majority of the population in the world that don't believe in this crazy ideology. But the majority were afraid to speak up because the minority were going to cancel them or make them lose their jobs and their career, whatever. So the majority stayed quiet and stayed in their corner. So these celebrities who supported the left or who still support the left, they thought that the majority is the left. They could say what they want. They wouldn't get canceled. They wouldn't be nobody will call them out. Now Trump comes into power. People are finally on Elon buys Twitter, and people are finally free to speak. People are finally free to say what they want. Again, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself because Jimmy lost his job because of saying whatever he thought he had the rights to say. But he still thinks that we are living in Joe Biden's era, thinking that the majority believes in his ideology. only to forget that the majority do not believe in his ideology. And this is what's happening. And this is why he got so much backlash. He shouldn't have said what he said. And this has got, I don't think, this has nothing to do with freedom of speech, because he was making accusations that he shouldn't have said, really, you know. And it's time for this. And one other thing as well, celebrities, really, they should stay away from politics, you know. Celebrities, stay away from politics. If you're a comedian, make us laugh, have fun, entertainers. Just leave politics alone, you know. And we saw a lot of that when Joe Biden was in power. A lot of celebrities leaning onto the left and getting involved and trying to brainwash us. It's like, mate, just do what you do best. You're a singer, do singing, just sing, you know. Give us great music, focus on that. If you're an actor, focus on that. If you're a comedian, focus on that. If you're a presenter, focus on that. I think Jimmy and many other celebrities, they think that we're still in the era of Joe Biden. And they need to realize that the world is waking up and things are changing. We are gradually heading back to common sense. However, these celebrities, they still think they are living in the Joe Biden era, which is really, really messed up. Is really messed up. They need to wake up that the non-common sense is dying. The smart, intelligent people are free to speak up now, and this is what's happening. So yeah, I don't feel any type of way regards to him getting fired and getting his show cancelled. I never used to watch it anyway, so it's not something that's going to make a difference in my life. But however, what he said was wrong. Yes. And if you're going to use your show, your channel, your voice to speak on things like that, even though it's not on your description it's not the description of your job, then you had it coming, mate. You seriously, mate, you had it coming, you know. Anywho, so young people, listen. This is the importance of not following the wave, because you get caught up in the storm. What do I mean by that? When Joe Biden was in power and everybody wanted to follow that wave of the left and the woke nonsense, even people that did not believe in that, all of a sudden they started to follow that wave, and then they got caught up on it, you know. And this is the consequence of trying to follow a trend, following the mass, you know. It's like what Warren Buffett said: if you see the market and everybody's selling, you should buy, and if everybody's buying, you should sell. Always try to go the opposite direction of the mass. You know, if there is a trend, common sense is in the middle. Common sense is in the middle. If there's a trend that is shifting to the right or left, try to get yourself in the middle. Do not get caught up on that, you know. But yeah, journey of youth. Again, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And yeah, comment and let me know what type of videos you guys want me to focus on. Whether you want me to do international news or UK based news, or just UK and USA, or worldwide, or strictly focus on the journey of young people, or maybe, you know, as a whole, how can young people learn from everything that's going on in the world? But yeah,